Not today, hon.
Hello, Hicks, hillbillies and hip-hop dogs, and welcome back to another week of The Struggle.
The only 8 p.m. show on Mondays on Channel 31 that makes you ask, are they aware that this news is over a week old?
The answer is yes. But if John Oliver can do it, so can we. And we can do it all on university-supplied free pizza and a rapidly increasing HECS debt.
This week, in last week's news, the right to disconnect law has passed, meaning employees do not have to engage in work-related activities outside of their scheduled hours, including texts and emails.
I've personally been taking full advantage of this. The second I step out of this studio, I block Molly, all our producers, and that struggle baby we've been abusing for the past few weeks.
Every day? You blocked us once and you haven't unblocked us since.
Damn straight.
Whatever. A survey published last year estimated that Australians worked on average 281 hours of unpaid overtime. But this law would mean Australians can ignore communications after work hours if they choose, without fear of repercussions from their bosses.
Yeah, sure. It doesn't mean they can't try and contact you, like you guys tried at 11 today.
Your call time is 8 a.m, Laura. That was within your scheduled hours?
Don't care, didn't ask.
Fuck, you annoy me. Speaking of annoying, dads, always with the questions, these ones. Have you done your taxes? When are you replacing the flat tyre? And who let the dogs out?
In honour of Father's Day, we decided to flip the script and for once ask them some questions.
Hey Dad, how are you? Thanks so much for coming on. So, what does Father's Day mean to you? Yes, so what you're saying is you didn't leave just to get some milk and cigarettes. You know, 958,000 people are on the r/single parent subreddit. I mean, undoubtedly, there has to be more in the general population who don't use it, probably in a similar situation to myself, where they've been raised by a single mother. What do you have to say about that? You're a master of saying so much with so few words. Brian Rogers writes that absent fathers are the risk factor for people like me, causing poor academic achievement, low self-esteem, psychological distress, substance use, criminal offending, depression, suicidal behaviour. I mean, do you perhaps feel any remorse for leaving? Yeah, I agree. My mum slayed raising me, given the circumstances.
From a man without his father to a territory without anyone at all.
The Country Liberal Party has won the Northern Territory election for the first time since 2016, with Australia's answer to Georgia Maloney, 39-year-old lawyer Leah Fioncaro winning a titanic 16-seat majority in the Legislative Assembly.
We sent Leo up to the least relevant slice of the mainland to investigate what this governmental reshuffle will look like.
Lawyer Fioncaro ran a campaign on crime and punishment, promising mandatory youth curfews, mandatory sentencing laws, expansion of detention facilities, and most notably, a promise to lower the age of criminal responsibility from 12 to 10 years old. But the question of at what age one gains criminal consciousness has been the subject of raging debate here and around the country. In Victoria, Jacinta Allen committed to raising our age of responsibility from 10 to 12, but backtracked on plans to raise it further to 14. At what age should we chuck kids in jail for crimes? I myself was born as an adult and therefore lack the first-hand experience in the field of juvenile criminality to make such an assessment. But I sat down with 2 repeat offenders to judge for myself which is the optimum age to institutionalise children. Statistics indicate that early entry into detention settings is heavily linked with repeat offending. What's been your experience?
Listen, man. All I'm saying is that if rocking out is a crime, man, then I don't want to be free, you know. They try to lock me away for keeping it rocking and wobbling, and I'm like, bro, not cool.
Fascinating insight. Thank you, Petey. And to you now, Stephen. Despite numerous major offences at 10 years of age, you've yet to see the inside of a prison cell. Police Commissioner Shane Patton has called this a farcical miscarriage of justice. How do you respond to that?
Leo, There was once a time in this nation when a boy committing his first triple homicide before his 10th birthday would be celebrated. So for Mr. Patton to come out with a scrap of nonsense like that, it speaks to his disconnect from quiet Australia.
Would it be then fair to say that neither of you really understood the potential criminal implications of your actions?
Listen, man, when I caved in that Gronk's face with my bass, I didn't even know they made jails for kids. And now I'm like, whoa, I'm all in jail and stuff.
And you, Stephen?
Come now, Leo, I would hardly have slaughtered those backpackers. Would I have been held criminally responsible? It's just common sense.
As this strange little man continued to yap, I realised that this may be a problem too complex for even my robo-brain to make sense of.
Can someone check in on her? She's not been herself since her cousin died in space.
Yes, in space.
Back on Earth now, where 2 people were trapped underground after a collapse on a subterranean cave tour in Iceland. They too were presumed fucked.
Luckily for us, our local Icelandic correspondent, Alfinga Vagisilson, was straight on the scene, digging her way into the story. Thank you, Alfinga Vagisilson, for that report, even if it was just the bones.
While Miss Vagisilson and her report crashed and burned, this next story is just taking off.
An Australian airline is under fire for their handling of flight cancellations during the COVID-19 pandemic. But a safety video has come across our desk from the carrier in question, showing them shooting back barbs fit for Bin Laden.
G'day, and welcome aboard your flight with Australian market monopoly airlines. And congratulations on making it this far. In order to get the most out of your 100% definitely going ahead without a hitch flight, we recommend you follow these safety guidelines. 1. Assume the brace position immediately, preferably the moment you purchase tickets. During lockdown, the Australian public didn't brace for impact when we refused full refunds for cancelled flights. It's now resulted in a class action lawsuit for which we give you butthurt people credit for. But it's clear you don't want credits. 2. In case of emergency, deal with it on your own. We're under no obligation to help you with anything. We have removed oxygen masks for those who made formal company complaints. Maybe it'll teach you to breathe in your own bullshit. 3. Ignore all new white paper charters arriving in 2026. Knowing the government's plan to improve the aviation industry will only make you mad about how far behind we are compared to the rest of the world. Just pop that Valium and forget. It's not worth the stress. They say life isn't about the destination, it's about the journey. At Australian Market Monopoly Airlines, it's about neither. Have a flight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we bring you breaking news that a plane has hit the Pentagon.
The West is under attack!
We repeat, the West is under...
Ugh, you're back. And you have that little friend with you.
Journos like us have a firm understanding of what our identity is. So much better than you. So it's no surprise to us that people are now confused as to what it means to be Australian.
But under new plans proposed by the federal government, all it'll take to become an Australian citizen is to participate in a 90-day Fight for Your Freedom scheme. To find out more about the feelings of sunburnt backpackers and if they want to fight for their lives in a battlefield and then the rental market, we dispensed Barry Cooter to question the masses.
You may be asking yourself, Bailey, why are you walking around St Kilda with a sandwich board on? Recently, I discovered that the Australian government declared that people from the UK, US or Canada are able to get fast-tracked citizenship by signing up to become cannon fodder for the army. So I decided that maybe I'd help them out a little bit by hitting the streets and bolstering their recruitment drive. The government has just introduced a brand new idea. Are you willing to do a little bit of work to be an Australian citizen, maybe?
Well,
Yeah, cool.
we're doing it now, so why not?
Citizenship. Get your citizenship. Would you be willing to kill a man for Australian citizenship?
If it gets that far?
Australian citizenship, anyone? You can actually join the army and they'll get you a citizenship in 90 days. How do you feel?
Where can I sign up?
Selling citizenship, all you gotta do is join the army. Got an army uniform ready to go, so would you be willing to join?
For citizenship, yeah.
You can get fast track citizenship. All you've got to do is kill someone. You're looking fantastic. That's brilliant. And here's your gun. Here you go. 90 days, you get citizenship. Guaranteed.
Thank you. Thank you for the citizenship. Thank you for the army jacket, and thank you for the gun.
Why wait when you can get Australian citizenship for joining the army? It is true, 90 days. Whoa.
Fast tracking of the citizenship process will undoubtedly raise concerns over potential dilution of the Australian identity.
Another Australian identity being slowly erased? The gays!
Despite desperate attempts to claw back public visibility, like Melbourne's bid to hosting of the Gay Games, I'm sad to see those perverts dissolve into the national background.
Nonetheless, we sent out the hetero porter to get a preview of our top talent heading into the games.
Since gay people have been excluded from having their gender orientation noted on the Australian census, they've been working their way into relevancy again by aiming to compete in the 2030 Gay Games. Today, we're going to play the Gay Games. Who is the most qualified queer?
Now we introduce to you our competitors, Player 1 and Player 2. To test the endurance of players, we will see who can run the fastest from yayas to circuit. We'll be doing the carabiner ring toss, where players will try and throw the carabiner the furthest. We will see who can huff on jungle juice the fastest. Whoever is the most curliest fry, it will all be sunshines and rainbows at the Gay Games.
Slay! I don't care what they do behind closed doors, as long as I'm allowed to watch.
And join in if I feel like it, I'm allowed to, and they let me in. Laura, what the hell is wrong with you?
I quit vaping today.
Oh, you poor thing. Good for you though. Nasty stuff, vapes.
Yeah, I'm just so irritated though.
Suck it up. We've got more news to do.
Don't tell me what to do, Molly!
Laura, we can send you to a group to get you the help you need. This one looks pretty good.
Welcome to the EA meeting. My name is Amy Stake and I'll be leading you through this journey of self-improvement, rehabilitation and well-being. Today we have a new member. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I've been an addict since I was young. I think it started when I was 11 on the bus to primary school. Every morning I just felt a certain rush I had never felt before. I just wanted to be like the big kids in the back of the bus fumbling with their cards. My name is Maya Keys and I'm addicted to fare evading.
Thank you for sharing, Maya. Would you like to tell us about your progress so far?
It's been 2 weeks since I last fare evaded. Thank you. But it's been so hard. I've had to start driving to get myself out of the environment and fuel is just so expensive. I've even left the Mikey Inspector Facebook group.
Amazing progress, Maya. The first 2 weeks are always the hardest. Would anyone else like to share?
Hi, my name's Skip, and I've been a fare evader for 20 years.
Hi, Skip.
I thought making my whole family relocate to Brisbane would help, with the decreased fares. Maybe it would calm the urge, getting away from it all, but it was even worse.
Now we do not put ourselves down just for slipping up a few times. No one is hopeless.
I racked up several $320 fines for dodging a 50-cent fare. My wife left me and I took out a second mortgage and I just can't pay back. I'm doomed.
Thank you for sharing. You're not alone. Our hearts go out to the poor Queensland residents who have recently relapsed, spending $150,000 in fines since the prices were lowered. Really productive meeting, evaders. Does anyone else have anything?
Can I see your concession cards, lads?
Shit! Evaders, disperse!
When I get cornered by the my cops, I can always count on my bros to help me fight my way out of that situation.
Reminds me of those two little podcast runs who were on the show. Whatever happened to those guys?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so we all might have seen a few headlines this week about a fellow podcast, actually. Yeah, a few guys up in Townsville, they were chatting on Jack Ryder Talks, and look, they said some pretty upsetting stuff about domestic violence. Yeah, we've got a clip here, let's have a listen.
Used to have a situation where people had some type of self-governance. If someone was bashing your sister, you and the cousins went around and sorted it out. Guess what? Now you've got a situation where police officers are spending 80% of their time on the beat sorting out domestic violence issues because people can't sort stuff out for themselves.
Yeah, look, it's not great, is it? Yeah, I mean, like, the old us maybe didn't even realise how bad chicks sort of had it, but, like, it hasn't really been until this year when shit's got really bad for women and domestic violence, you know? Oh, it's just crazy, you know? Like, it seems this year I've really noticed it. Yeah, for whatever reason, maybe, like, this year more chicks are coming forward or something? Yeah, or dying or something. It seems to be everywhere for whatever reason. But we're onto it now, and we are really passionate about it. Yeah, it's been pretty eye-opening. I've learned a lot since I sort of started, like, paying attention. Like, before all this happened, like, if my mate had said to me, like, oh, I'm going to go home and, like, just give her a black eye or something, I might have been like, oh, like, maybe she deserves it. But now I'd be like, it's a bit sus. Yeah, it's a bit sus. And you know what? The biggest realisation has actually been that men are part of the problem. It might be women dying, but it's the men who are, well, I guess like they're very much involved. Yeah, I'd say that's why we just got to be like calling anyone out who says cook shit like this now, you know, straight away. Exactly, right? So just a hypothetical, mate. Yeah. If you're on a boys' weekend, say up in Townsville, you ran into these boys from the podcast, you would go up to them and you would say something, right? Oh, yeah, like I don't know if that's necessary. Like I'd want to. The thing is, I wouldn't want to create like a scene. Like, you know, like if I just unfollowed them on Instagram or something, I think I'd make it pretty clear. Yeah, true. No, they'd see that we'd unfollow them and I reckon they'd connect the dots. Yeah, because I think with this issue, you know, like it is really up to us boys to call each other out and teach each other, but we can't do that if we're making each other sort of like feel uncomfortable. Yeah, for sure. Like face to face probably is a bit much. Yeah, 100%, dude.
Who could have foreseen that the ancient power of the podcast bros could end domestic violence against women in Australia? Congrats, ladies!
Hi, Guru Gallagher here. Are you wondering how the government funded $3 million upgrades to racetracks? It's not from the taxpayer, but from supplying me at Gallagher's Glue Emporium. That's right, every time a horse needs to be humanely euthanised, we don't even use expensive anaesthetics, just bullets. And we're passing these savings on to you. With each horse sent to our post-mortem review facility, we coincidentally export quality glue straight to you. And as soon as we get our hands on those jockeys who gallop into the ICU, we'll bring you Jockey Glue. So come on down. We love to put horses in a sticky situation.
Well, when one door closes, another opens.
Just like this door that's opening up right now.
See you, wizards.
Inspiring James Cameron to spend too much on a made-up love story, making billionaires victim to their expensive deaths, and making 500,000 of Australian properties uninsurable. Because climate change is just a theory for some, we interviewed the real guy behind this fishy business. Good afternoon, your wizardry. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview in, less than typical conditions. There's been a lot of chatter about nearly 500,000 of Australian properties becoming uninsurable. Given your control of the sea, what are your thoughts on this?
Greetings, small one. It's like a never-ending sea of complaints. Honestly, I thought it was just another episode of Shitstorm. My tides are so dramatic, they could have their own reality TV show.
Right, so people are blaming climate change and rising sea levels. What's your take?
Climate change? Oh, please. I've been trying to keep up with my social media, and it's all oceans are rising, sea levels are through the roof. Next thing you know, my inbox is drowning in complaints from beachfront property owners wanting refunds. Apparently, my tides are not Instagrammable enough.
A few moments later.
It's like haute couture for waves. If I don't make a splash, I'm just another old current.
And then how do you expect insurance companies to handle your creative outbursts?
I tell them, forget about investment properties. It's all about inflatable furniture. Oh, and for the love of Neptune, don't forget to learn torpedo for those cheeky flash floods.
Welcome back.
While we are both firm believers that vaccines are a myth and modern healthcare is a scam, some experts are claiming that there's a new pandemic on the rise.
No, please, no, don't send me back to look!
Drugs expert Louise Toomey has more.
Mpox, previously monkeypox, is a virus from the same family containing things like smallpox. Mpox is said to not be life-threatening. However, between January of 2022 and of August of 2024, there have been over 220 cases of death due to the disease. And as of this week, there have been 306 cases in Australia this year. This virus has recently been named an international public health concern by the World Health Organization.
Symptoms include a distinctive rash, lesions and blisters, excessive hair growth, headaches, joint pain, an uncontrollable urge to climb trees, swollen lymph nodes, exhaustion, back pain, and lastly, a hunger for bananas and bugs from your friend's hair. Stay vigilant and aware of any of these symptoms. This is a serious virus.
Okay. Big news in music.
Music.
British rock band Oasis announced they'll be returning for a string of shows at Wembley Stadium in 2025.
The band, which broke up in 2009 after brothers Liam and Noel Gallagher had an argument over something, has been trash-talking each other for the past decade and a half.
The Wonderwall royalties must have run dry, as this was quite an unexpected announcement for the brothers. Our producer, Liv, who decided to spare herself the pain of fighting for tickets, wanted to share her thoughts.
Thanks, Molly and Laura. This is actually the worst news of my entire life. I couldn't give two shits about a dysfunctional brother duo finally reconciling after 15 years of fighting. If I wanted to care, I'd go spend time with my family. Happy Father's Day, Ian. Yay! I don't care that these so-called British people are happy that these mono-browed heroin addict freaks are getting back on stage to sing. Wonderwall is an overplayed piece of shit, and Liam and Noel hate it too. Do you know who doesn't hate their own music? Blur. Has Blur ever had a flop? Probably, but song 2 in Girls and Boys makes up for everything. Can't say the same about Champagne Supernova. Defo could have been 4 minutes shorter, and even then it would still be 4 minutes too long. HBO Succession ended last year, and so did my sympathy for interfamilial beef. Why do you think I haven't spoken to my family for the last 10 years? Ian, we all know Oasis won't last longer than the first show, so if you're going to any of the other nights, hope you get refundable tickets, losers.
Anyways, here's Wonderwall.
That's enough of that. Play something better, dog.
The struggle. It's real.
Tune in to opportunity. This is Disrupt Radio.